continuing the fight that he was fighting overseas. And we are so blessed to have her with us, Miss Debbie Lee.
Thank you so much. I love coming back to New Hampshire. This is I think my 5th time that I've been here to honor our troops and to stand for our freedoms. And I can tell you what, every time I watch that Jumbotron and I see Harry Reid's face up there and I hear him again tell our troops that they've lost, it infuriates me to no end. I have tried 3 different times to meet with that man. I went to his office in Las Vegas with Move America Forward. We had several of our staff from California. I'm from Arizona. We requested a meeting, and he said, I'd be glad to meet with you if you're from Nevada. He knew doggone good and well we weren't. And so I said, Harry Reid, then you can't get on national TV and tell our troops that they've lost and call my son a loser who sacrificed his life for this nation. We went to his office in Reno, and he refused to come out and meet with us. We were in D.C. for another event, and we knew his schedule was clear, and he had no one on there, no meetings, nothing was scheduled. And yet that man still refused to come out and speak with me. He sent out his right-hand guy, and literally the man's chin was quivering as he came out to talk to me. And I told him, how dare Harry Reid? He has deeply offended the men and women in the military and their families by telling our troops that they've lost and they were losers. It will bring me no greater joy than when I stand with Sharon Angle tomorrow night to tell Harry Reid, Harry Reid, you lost, you're a loser, you dishonored our troops, and now how does it feel? I got a pink slip I'm going to give him, and I'm going to stop at the lingerie store and give it to him. I am so proud of our men and women in the military. They have sacrificed so much for the freedoms that we have each and every day. I think back to our founding fathers, and as they birthed this nation, and they had a dream and they had a vision for what we would be. Many of them sacrificed. Some sacrificed their homes. Some sacrificed their jobs. Some even sacrificed their lives for the freedoms that we enjoy each and every day. They lived loud for liberty with their lives. But the majority of us in America have not had to sacrifice for the freedoms that we wake up and enjoy every morning. How many of you are grateful that you woke up in America this morning with the freedoms that we have? I can tell by the crowd out here, I've seen many of you with your hats on and the emblems that you've served in the military. My oldest son, Christopher, was in the Marines. Do we have any Marines out here? My son-in-law, Christopher, served in the Army. Where's our Army? And Marc was in the Navy. Where's the rest of the Navy? Well, no, she knows how to do it. And my brother is today on his 7th deployment to Afghanistan in the Air Force. Where's our Air Force? Okay, now I need to see all of the hands of the men and women up together so we can thank you for your service to this country. Woo! Thank you. Those men and women are our heroes. Those are the ones that were willing to pay up to the cost of their life, if need be, for the freedoms that we enjoy each and every day, and I'm so proud of you. I'm the founder of America's Mighty Warriors. Marc's name meant Mighty Warrior. And I'm sure once you hear his story, you will agree he definitely lived up to it. But it's not just about Marc. It's about each and every one of our men and women who have fought, who've sacrificed, who've used their lives to live loud for the liberty and granted us the freedoms that we have each and every day. I want to tell you the story of my amazing son. Marc was about 6 foot tall. He weighed about 200 pounds. And the day that he willingly gave his life, August 2nd, 2006, it was 115, 120 degrees in Ramadi, Iraq. They had been in a fierce firefight under heavy fire for 2 hours. Marc carried the M60, the big gun. So he carried anywhere from 150 to 180 pounds in addition to his own weight. I cannot even begin to imagine fighting under those temperatures in an intense firefight for that long, carrying that amount of weight. There were 4 of the SEALs that were on their rooftop. Marc's buddy Ryan had been severely injured. They could tell by looking at him it didn't look good. They didn't know if he'd survive the next few moments. 2 of the SEALs dropped to their knees to help Ryan. Marc made the choice to stand up into the direct line of fire to provide that cover so they could get the medic up to the roof. The medic got up there and he evaluated the situation and said, we got to get Ryan out of here immediately or there's no chance for survival. So not once, but a second time, that young man made the choice to stand up into the heavy fire again to provide the cover so they could get down off that roof. They all successfully got down off that roof and sent Ryan off for medical attention. And I can only imagine as they went back to that base, what they were thinking, what they were feeling. I know they had to be exhausted physically and emotionally. They got back to the base, and I'm proud to tell you that today in Ramadi, Iraq, there is a base named Camp Mark Lee after this young man. The chief came in and he said, we just found 30 of the insurgents that just attacked us. Are you guys up to going back out? My first trip to Iraq, I got to visit Camp Mark Lee. And I know on the other side of Camp Mark Lee is a Marine base. And if they'd asked me, I'd have said, go find some of the Marines who haven't been out in the last 24 hours, who are fresh and who are ready for battle. But that wasn't the character of my son, nor was that the character of the Navy SEALs. Mark looked at his chief and he looked him in the eye and he said, Roger that, let's go get him. So they went back into Ramadi. They cleared several houses and they went in the last house that Mark would be in. They cleared the bottom of the house and they started to go up the steps when they heard Mark yell, on me! And if you've served, you know that meant he wanted to take the lead and they were to follow. And as they went up those steps, they drew fire through a window. And for the last and final time, Mark made the choice again to turn into that line of fire to defend his buddies. But he didn't do that just for his buddies. He did that for each and every one of you that are standing here today. He did that for everyone in America. He did that for the freedoms that we enjoy every day. I am so very proud of that young man. I miss him so deeply. That young man gave up all of his tomorrows so that we could have our todays. And I'm here to challenge each one of you, don't waste your todays. Don't waste what the men and the women in the military have sacrificed for our freedoms. We're down to the final hours in a historic election. And there's still things we can be doing. Get on the phone, call people, make sure they're at the polls. If you need to contact your candidates and still make robocalls for them, make calls, let people know. We've got to get people to the polls. If you know people that don't have transportation, pick them up, get them there. This is about our country. In case you hadn't noticed, we've got political insurgents in Washington, D.C. And I want to know from you, will you have the same response my son had? Will you say, Roger that, let's go get them? Let's go get them! We at Tea Party Express deeply love our military. We have been very blessed to have traveling with us another Navy SEAL, Benjamin Smith, who's been standing up here with me. Thank you, Benjamin, for your sacrifice for this country. We would like to continue thanking and honoring all of you who've served.